So Kitty decided to have some lovin's at the beginning of this video, so Kitty gets its lovin's. Anyway, so this list is how to organize a to-do list. So many things to do, so little time to do them. But life becomes a bit less overwhelming when all these tasks, chores, and responsibilities are written down in some sort of order. Which sort of order is best? That depends. The point of a to-do list is to make life clearer, not further complicate it. So try a few options to see what method works for you to stay organized. And enjoy crossing items off one by one. So these are just some clever tips you can try. One of the things is to personalize your method. There are practically limitless ways to compile all the things you need to do: apps, calendars, notebooks, planners. The list goes on. Pick a list of making method that works for you, whether it involves smartphone, computer, or legal pad. I have several. I have a binder that I turned into a organizational thing for myself, but I also do lists on my phone, so I like to have multiple places. Stay on top of your day. The most important of all tasks you have to complete are those that have to be done now, each morning or before night before. List everything that has to be done the coming day. You can use daily checklists to schedule tasks. With some tasks, this can be done several days or weeks in advance. Prioritize your tasks, whether listing today's chores or your goals for the next month. Jot down or enter tasks in order from most to least urgent. If you don't get the ones that can wait till later, just move them on to the next day's or month's list. Not crossing them off for a while doesn't mean you're failing at accomplishing things. In fact, it's much better to write them down where you'll see them than forget them until they become priorities. Keep categories separate if you can. Consider keeping separate to-do lists for various activities such as shopping, which can be further broken down into food, drugstore items, mail, cleaning, emails, topics to research, and so on. Other options are to have a work list and a home family list, or a short-term, long-term list. This especially helps if you're prone to listing things like books to read, places to visit, and music to buy. Giving each category a separate list prevents the movies you want to rent from getting lost on a page full of reminders like clean the sink and make a dentist appointment. Next is schedule everything. Rather than simply amassing a bunch of tasks to get to do today or whenever, some people benefit from scheduling everything in its own time slot. You can plot out your chores in a planner or app simply by jotting down a timeline in a notebook. This works well if you tend to look at your to-do list in the morning and decide you can do all of those things later in the day, then realize at 5 p.m. that you've got none of them done. So think baby steps. Don't write planned vacation on a list, even for an enjoyable process that's overwhelming. Instead, break it down into steps, like research hotels, buy guidebooks, reserve rental car. These are all tasks you can count on yourself to accomplish without wasting your afternoon wandering off on vaguely vacation-related plans. This is why you get more done with a daily routine. It comes in handy. So you can also combine approaches. Sometimes, if not all the time, you might need to combine methods of list keeping. I do several of these, so that could mean using your smartphone calendar app for appointments and a little notebook for a shopping list, or it could mean making daily lists as well as weekly plans. Don't lock yourself into one method that sounds nice. Adjust as you need to. And then the final thing says use it or lose it. This is not an organizing tip, but it might be the most crucial one. Once you've made your list, don't forget to look at it as thoroughly as you plan what you buy, who you call, to stop on the way home. You won't do any of it unless you remember to use the list you made. This kitty's getting so mad at me for talking. But anyway, that's it for this list.